Good afternoon. Here, it's actually just a couple of minutes before evening. Fire's going, it's warm, and we're back at Dracula's castle. You know, in the course of going about the tour we were on and meeting with so many figures and so many spiritual figures, powerful spiritual figures, priests, monks, some really incredible settings. I mean, we've stood in monasteries and churches that go back almost 1,000 years in this world, this area of the world. And in all of the conferring and the meetings and talking about magic and exorcisms and ritual that we were inspired of was when we got back to Dracula's castle and came back to this area. There's always a feeling when we come to this area that we're entering a whole different shielded dimension, a place of protection, a place that's really special. We all know places like this. We've all visited settings, special settings, places in nature. I mean, I remember in a younger age getting a call from a friend who was standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon in America, and he said he was just awestruck and he felt like he was in another world completely when he was standing there, and he was overcome by the sense of spirit and the grandeur that he was experiencing. And I've heard the same thing said here of Dracula Castle and of many locations here in Romania and throughout Europe, that people will get to certain places and they just feel a very strong sense of presence that almost overcomes them. Every time we enter and come back home to Dracula's castle, we come into an area where the protection is incredible, the energy is strong, and it flows through us. And we can feel it. And it really is almost like a science fiction film or a fantasy film where you go through this dimension and you enter a whole other realm. Well, that's how it is here for us and for many people who come here. You know, in talking with religious figures, one very powerful lead priest in a church that I won't mention just for their own anonymity's sake, but the lead priest asked, what is it you want? What are you looking for? And he already knew. You know, this was one of the most powerful priests I've ever had the honor of standing in the presence of. And he knew we went there to confer on ritual and on protection. And as a result, the entire monastery came out to protect us. And we were blessed by holy oils and monks and priests. So those of you who think that the pagan world and the world of the vampire cannot meet with, confer with, and cooperate with old ancient religious figures, you're wrong. Please, understand that cooperation and understanding sometimes is as far as the extended hand. And that's been our experience here, luckily. Because we're also in a world where, the ancient ways are very common and very commonly known, and they're, if not embraced, they're understood. For the vampire here, the vampiric way, the way of the Strigoi, as we approach Strigoi night, the Transylvanian Halloween, that too, if you've seen a post here or there that we've put up about Transylvanian Halloween, there is another Halloween here. It's a very special time, the night of the Strigoi, the vampire night, November 29th. That is Transylvanian Halloween. Look it up, Google it. It's a very powerful time here. And we're in another Halloween month for Transylvania. It's another reason to come visit. The other thing we were talking about, and I just wanted to talk about for a moment here by the fireside, as it's time to talk again, is on ritual and blessing and protection. Here we're entering another new moon, another dark moon, very powerful time. Many practitioners and many in the pagan world think it's more powerful than the full moon, that the dark moon is conducive of incredible protection and incredible creative power and creative magic. We adhere to that thinking as well, that the new moon is very powerful. So as you go into ritual, and you're in your personal circles, or if you're a solitary practitioner, or however you practice, focus in this new emergent season, now that we've gone through the celebration of Samhain, and as we enter this new season now, think of your protection, your power, your personal power, how you draft and draw that around you as you ritual, who you cast out of your life, who you choose to turn away from, who you choose to not include in your circle anymore, as well as those you embrace and bring into your circle and have into your circle as your personal family, as your friends. Enshrine yourself with your power. That is the source of all the higher vibrations of existence. I just put up a post the other day on anger and resentment and hatred and its effects on the higher vibration and the essence of being. I mean, ritual is a good way to release yourself from anger and hatred. Hatred is a poison. It poisons the soul. It diminishes the power of the spirit, and it reduces your focus and the frequency of your being. The vibration, the vampire, in the best definition I have ever read and lived thus far. I've been in this community offline and online and researching personally since the 1970s. I've been around these games for over 25 years. And, every day is a new learning experience for me, but I have never found another definition that can be greater to the vampire than is the definition of a being that exists at an incredibly high rate of frequency of vibration. That, a lot of the world is here. The vampire is up here, close to the spirits, close to the spirit realm, incredibly empathic, incredibly energetic, incredibly powerful in mind, spirit, and soul, which is why it's a lot of the real vampire community talks about burning their energy and needing to replace the energy, be it sanguinism by blood or by energy, being energy vampires, etc. Well, it's that higher rate of vibration that causes the need for replenishment. Now, you can work on that in ritual, as far as containing your own energy and containing your own sense of power and personal strength. You do that in ritual too. You do it in ritual, you do it in meditation. We do it in meditations, very deep meditations. We just went through another ritual, again, where we meditated very deeply. And the core of our belief is centered in many entities, but some chief entities and spirits, and archangels. And we center our beliefs and our thinking on Nosferatu. If you wonder about Nosferatu, if you feel called by Nosferatu, investigate, look into it. You define yourself, you define your own vampirism, you define your own witchcraft, your own craft, you define your own beliefs. And as you listen to other ways of belief, don't just cast them out just because they are what their image is. It's like open your mind to all things, because from that we gain our own sense of essence and our own power. So here at Dracula's castle, with the fires are burning, the nights are getting crisp, it's getting really chilly out. The hot chocolate and the warm mulled wines are flowing in the local pensionias and the local restaurants, and we still have our pumpkins out because we're still in Halloween month here in Transylvania, and we will be all month until November 29th, Strigoi night. So it'll be time to talk again. I just wanted to talk about ritual with you briefly and about working your rituals now in this new year and building your protections and building up your sense of power. That is the way of the vampire. So, have a wonderful night, light your fires, pour yourself a nice hot drink, and have a wonderful evening.